David Lassonde is with us, class of 2022, New Hampshire Legends of Hockey Hall of Fame. And congratulations to you, David. Great to have you with us. Native of Rochester, New Hampshire. Played at Spalding High School, a former Red Raider.
Correct.
Yeah? When did you play there?
77 to 1980.
Yeah, very good.
They started up the high school team in 1977. The district decided to bring back ice hockey.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Very good.
I'm not sure when they had it and then discontinued it, but in 77 they brought it back.
Yeah.
Yep. And the gentleman who they hired to coach the team, Clausen, will be here today.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
John.
Nice.
Colgate alum.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I know. I used to do high school hockey on radio, and I called a Spalding State Championship. What year would that have been?
That would have been in, I believe, 1990.
Okay.
And the thing about that day is so I was working at UNH at the time.
Yeah.
It was a big snowstorm that day, I think. Is that correct?
I think I remember.
And the game
that,
was at
yeah.
Snively.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
obviously I was there watching the game. They won, which was great. We then got on the bus to go to Northeastern to play. And right before the game, a state trooper came up to me and told me I had to call home. My father had passed away that day, shoveling snow.
Oh, jeez.
So it was the emotion, the range of emotions from the thrill of Spalding winning
Yeah.
that to obviously my father passing away was
dear.
tough.
Jeez. Well, I think that was a 1-0 game, wasn't it?
I don't remember what the score was. John could tell you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Eric Royal had the only goal in that game.
Yep.
Off a Chris Carpenter turnover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did they play in that game?
Trinity.
Trinity.
Trinity, yeah. And Carpenter was a defenseman for
Yeah.
Trinity, then went on to the major leagues in
Yeah.
baseball.
I think Eric and Dr. Roy. The interesting was there's been three. I will be the third person from Rochester to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. And I coached Eric.
Yeah.
And Dr. Roy was my pediatrician.
Wow. And then went on to play at Providence College under the legendary Lou Lamoriello. What kind of an experience was that?
Well, it was a great experience. You use the word play, but I didn't play much because the other two goalies were better than I was. But when I look back at that experience playing under Lou, I met some people that had a very profound impact on me about eventually getting into coaching at the college level. And when you play for Lou, there's certain things that you learn, primarily do things the right way. And it was a great experience. And when I look back at it, would I have liked to have played more? Yes. But it was a great experience in terms of what that ultimately led to.
Well, your college coaching career spanned more than 3 decades, including stints at UNH and Dartmouth. And who were some of the goalies that you helped along the way? I know you were involved with several outstanding ones.
Well, my time at UNH, Jeff Levy was the first All-American that we had. And then from there, Ty Conklin, Michael Ayers, Kevin Regan, Brian Foster, all All-Americans. We had a couple at Denver when I was there, Sammy Britton and Juho Okanor. But, you know, they gave us an opportunity to have success, but when you think about those teams, we could score goals, we defended hard, and when our goalies need to make saves, they made saves, and players make coaches look good for sure.
Well, in 2022, you joined USA Hockey as the national goaltending coach, and tell us about what that entails.
Well, I think the way that came about is I was involved in some World Junior coaching situations, and I got to know John Van Beesbroek when he took over for the late Jimmy Johansson, doing all of our international stuff. And in 2019, when we went to Victoria, John and I spent some time together, and I had mentioned to him at that time that at some point when I was looking for another opportunity, the position in Plymouth, Michigan would be of interest to me, and that presented itself in 2020. And so I am currently the U.S. national goalie coach, as you mentioned, And my primary job is to work with the goalies that at the National Team Development Program. We have 2 teams out there, a U18 team, a U17 team. And my job is to work with those kids on a daily basis and do whatever other duties as assigned by Beezer.
And an assistant for the 2022 Olympic men's hockey team. Tell us about that experience.
Well, fortunate that the NHL decided that it made the decision that they weren't going to be involved in that. And when they named David Quinn the head coach of that team, in 2019, David Quinn was supposed to be the head coach of our World Junior team. He asked me to be on staff at that point. And then when David got the job with the New York Rangers, Mike Hastings, who's now at Mankato State, became the head coach, and we had a very successful, we didn't win the gold medal, but we lost in the gold medal game. And I think that Mike was very instrumental in telling Quinny the role that I played on that particular team, and that I would be someone that he should think of asking to be part of the Olympics. And when I got that call on a Monday night, when I was sitting outside the Stoneham Arena from Beezer and asked me if I wanted to go to Beijing, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts about the Olympics? And you know, NHL players have been involved, you know, over the years, but this time around they were not. What are your thoughts about the NHL players versus the amateur or collegiate players that are involved?
I don't, you know, been around a long time, seen both situations. I can tell you that even though the NHL players were not in Beijing, just the passion, the preparation, the excitement of the event, my guess is I've never been to the Olympics when the NHL guys were there, but I would venture to say that in terms of those things I just mentioned, they were at a very, very high level, and it's great competition. Anytime you have the opportunity to put your country's jersey on, it brings something out of you, and it was there in spades,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, we've never had 1980 had NHL players been allowed to play at that time, and we always remember 1980
Yeah.
and the gold medal for the USA. So many accolades along the way for you, but in 2017 you assisted Team USA at the World Deaf Ice Hockey Championships and went on to win a gold medal. Tell us about your involvement in that program.
Well, that all came about when I was working at the University of Wisconsin. The legendary coach Jeff Sauer was a longtime volunteer at the school, and at the end of my first year working for him at Wisconsin, he asked me if I would come down and actually do a coach's clinic at the school. And for the last 30 years, it's been a summer must for me. Jeff, legendary coach, he was a giver of his time. He worked with the deaf kids for a long, long time. He was involved with our sled hockey program for a long, long time, and he asked me to do it, and I did it. And it's a great experience with those kids. To see them enjoy the game, be around each other, have an opportunity to play in international competition. The interesting thing about that 2017 event that you mentioned is in February of that year, Coach Sauer passed away. So the whole event was done in his memory. And so it was really special when we were able to beat Canada, first of all,
Yeah.
and win that gold medal and do it in his memory with his wife, Jamie there, and his daughter, Beth.
Well, must have been a tremendous experience. And David Lassonde, congratulations on your terrific career and now your induction into the New Hampshire Legends of Hockey Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Ken. It's very special.